mimi ndio najuanga wa Kenya. Kwanza there is a certain
tutakuwa Rastafari
educational institution kila mtu angekuwa. But court proceedings are very confidential. Hauwezi tumia kitu mtu alisema hapa kumfunga kwingine. I think the way you put it, it's just a long and legal way to say nyinyi watu kwanza mnaleta hii kitu ya bangi, mmevuta bangi simu. Today's topic of the legal bulletin includes somehow the World Cup, but it's about an action called ambush marketing.
Some of the Rastafarians have never actually used marijuana. So for them, they were claiming that it violates their Bill of Rights, that is Article 27, the right that warns against discrimination, Article 31, right to privacy. Rastafari is a religion on its own. So whatever we do has to be protected by the law as well. So all these rights, the court acknowledged them, but you have not proved that the use of cannabis is a doctrinal requirement. It is a mere choice, and it is against the law. Itulinibamba sana ni they wanted to bring cannabis seeds for the court to actually see.
So recently I've been seeing this video making rounds of this KDF soldier who took the life of his 2 children and the wife. And I've been seeing people use the terms murder and manslaughter interchangeably.
This is Law in the Neighborhood podcast. Brought to you by CH Studios, creating content that connects.
Yet another amazing opportunity we collide here. My name is COLINES, Colines Muyeku, but you can always opt for CM. This is Law in the Neighborhood, your go-to legal talk show where we get to dissect legal intricacies for our neighbors. As usual, we'd love to say thank you to our production partners, CH Studios. CH Studios, we create content that connects. We're located along Wayaki Way at Almond Park. In case you want to reach out, please do reach out using the digits below. This episode, we have so much lined up for you. Neighbors, in case you're new here, please go ahead and click that subscription button and tell a friend to tell a friend. This is where you get educated matters legal that is so essential to you. So, kama uja subscribe, kwa hizo sekunde 3 nimekupea, please click that subscription button. Neighbors, as usual, I'm always joined with the beautiful team of Future Legal Eagles. The whole gang is around. How are we doing? How was our week? Yeah, you look innocent.
Wait, it's the cold season. It's funny, sisi watu single justice. Jerry cannot relate, but anyway.
Yeah.
Let us not talk about that.
There is it true? Is it true that you cannot relate?
I am the most relatable person to that topic. Single and singular.
Interesting. So,
for all our fans who don't know me, my name is Jerry. I'm George Ambuche, but you can call me Jaga. And I'm excited to be here today, yet again, breaking down the law for you.
Nice. Apart from Baridi, what else? What else is new in your world?
I think I could have started with an introduction for our new fans. My name is Niha Chege, and my week has been great, generally. It has been a very interesting week. By the way, this week there has been a lot going on. Sijui kama ni my
usual.
Twitter peke, I don't know. There's a lot going on. Those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about.
I can't relate.
Ni uchungu sana. Ni uchungu sana.
Diao, as usual.
No, hiyo ni words za Geoffrey Mosija.
Oh! I see you people. I thought
No.
now a judge.
Honestly, it may bring to a lot of questions about
okay.
the realities of today and bado ina trickle down to privacy law
I know.
and even who to blame in such circumstances. Not who to blame per se, that's not what I'm saying. Who to, if you are trying to take legal action, where do you even start? Like, it's bringing a lot of questions. Of course, mi naiangalia from a legal perspective.
The same thing.
Yeah, so, it's just kila kitu unaangalia unaanza kuchambua. Unaona potential clients here and there. Yeah.
Very you look excited. But ni sawa. Let's go straight into the episode. This week we're handling a very interesting decision. For the past 5 years, before Justice Bahati Mwamuye, there has been a hot smoke case before him. Any punchline?
Hot smoke ni
Venye tu
gani bana?
ni dad joke, so tutaiacha tu islide.
Why are you not laughing? But anyway, it's an interesting decision. I know so many people might not be knowing that Rastafari is actually a recognized religion in this country. And they went to court back in 2021. And the reason as to why they were going to court, it is number one, they were seeking the court to come in and help them legalize the use of marijuana. For them, they claim marijuana is a central thing in their religion and it acts as a sacrament to them. So they were to prove to court why should they use marijuana and why should the court legalize it. Nonetheless, the court did not agree with them, and from what the court was reasoning, they scored their own goal because the witnesses had testimonies that were contradicting each other, because the court wanted to know, is this a mere choice for Rastafarians believers, ama it is a doctrinal requirement for that religion? Because one of the witnesses that appeared before the court actually told the court that using marijuana was a choice, in the sense that even some of the Rastafarians have never actually used marijuana. So walijipiga on goal in a way, because mbona ulete witness kwa stand alafu aseme mimi sijaitumia, and then the next one akikuja anasema this is actually used to take us next to Saja. It is used for meditation. It is used for us to just be in our space and connect with Saja and all that. So the court ended up rejecting that. For them, they were claiming that it violates their Bill of Rights, that is Article 27, the right that warns against discrimination, Article 31, right to privacy, and the court said this is a matter of public, like these are rights that can be limited. Privacy, it means, okay, the state can actually intrude your privacy if whatever you're doing is against the state laws, are you saying? So cannabis is illegal. So if you're gotten using it, the state has the permission to actually intrude. Another right that they claimed was being infringed upon was the right to religion. Rastafari is a religion on its own. So whatever we do has to be protected by the law as well. So all these rights, the court acknowledged them, but you have not proved that the use of cannabis is a doctrinal requirement. It is a mere choice, and it is against the law. Kitulinibamba sana ni they wanted to bring cannabis seeds before the court to actually prove. But the court said, I cannot allow the trafficking of illegal drugs into this court because it is still illegal. It hasn't been legalized. I don't know what you think about that decision, but I think it is a great one, because we have seen political leaders publicly trying to push for legalization of marijuana. I'm going to use some of them who have gone publicly doing that. Ledama, the current senator, is it Narok, who claimed it is actually something that can be considered medically and industrial-wise. We have seen the presidential candidate in 2022, Wazakoya, who claimed the use of cannabis is not just kwenda high and all that. I think the hemp seeds are very useful industrial-wise and all that. So legalizing it create more job opportunity and it improve our manufacturing sector. I don't know what you think about that. I'll start with Miham.
I think the greater question, a question I would ask, because I know this is a factor that was considered while delivering the judgment, is the society ready to accept the legalization of marijuana? Because most of the time, growing up, I used to know, ni kama hadi ilifika a place I had a notion that bangi ni worse than adi pombe. Like it's a worst thing you can do, and you associate it with dirty people, mad people.
Yeah.
Like mpaka automatically ukiona like someone mad, you're like walivuta bangi. And it's so crazy. And now when you grow up, well, I'm not saying you find out the truth, but but like, you know, the situation now, you come to see, and there's many sides to this particular subject. You find that marijuana can be used even to treat some illnesses like glaucoma. You find that, I was reading, for example, in the US, there are people who have medical cards for medical marijuana for certain purposes. So probably,
is it legal there?
Yeah, in some states. It's legal in some states, but you have to have a card, and some states have legalized it for recreational purposes, but they have I don't know if it's milligrams, like you can only buy this particular amount if it's for a recreational purpose. Like they've tried to regulate it. Though this is just a bigger question to society. If the courts had legalized marijuana, are we ready to accept that particular reality? You know, are we ready to be like, okay, now
openly?
Yeah, now we can start planting this thing, making money out of it, doing, you know, trying to find job opportunities by involving yourself in that particular business. So I think that's a greater question to the society. Like, are we ready to accept this particular reality? And are we also ready to embrace this particular religion? Because there's a lot of bias when it comes to the Rastafarian people. I don't know if I'm the only one who has grown up seeing it, or I remember there was a time even when I used to talk about putting dreads, it was a topic. They want to know why. Why will you do that? Why can you do that while you're being allowed to be a Christian or to be a Muslim? So why do we discriminate this particular group of people? And sometimes we actually do that out of ignorance, because I believe everyone has a particular opinion, and it's better to understand where someone is coming from. Like
the context.
Why Rastafarian? Is it Rastafarian by the way, the religion?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, why have you decided to go down this particular road? Legally, I feel like from the Anarita and Jeru case, where when you state that your right has been violated, you have to demonstrate how it was violated.
Yes.
So when you're alleging your right to, I feel like the evidence that was from reading the judgment, the evidence was somewhat insufficient. How is this marijuana useful, like relevant to your religion? Yeah. Without the marijuana, will your religion make sense? Will your doctrinal principles be accomplished? Like you have to illustrate. So that's what I got from that whole scenario. I think it's a question to even our neighbors. Are you ready?
You touched on something like morally now. How,
Yeah. Are you like ready to accept that we can introduce this marijuana business and even some sort of regulation? Because of course there must be regulation so that it's like misused, because there are also the cons to using that particular drug. So are you ready to accept that particular reality? And also another question, there are organizations like NACADA who have been very vocal against the use of some of those drugs. Will, if they continue petitioning, appealing the decision, if they try and bring it up again and it passes, will it, I don't want to say belittle, but will it make such organizations look like they were, like they were doing nothing, or what will happen to those particular organizations?
Jerry, what do you think?
That case is a good one. First of all, just to remove the seriousness out of the air, I'm not a joker, or neither do I consider myself one, but this case was decided by a judge called Bahati. Yani hao marasta kuweza kupata bahati kesi yao.
That is how you joke. See hizo jokes zako.
But anyways,
nakucheka. Mlisema ni stick to law and I'm stuck.
The Rastafaris were just arguing to the point of where they practice their religion. The drug cannabis was not to be allowed to each and every person, but only for purposes of their religion. That they have confined areas and they have internal controls, like they can use it in specific places. They don't use it in front of children, and only for religious purposes. Now, not the funny thing, but the actual thing is they were even quoting Bible verses in the petition. Some of the Bible verses they quoted were Genesis 3:18, Psalms 104:14, and Revelation chapter 22 verse 2. Inaweza kuwa past.
Diversity.
So these verses talk about the use of some herb. The Rastafarians have interpreted it as cannabis, and that is what was informing that actually even the Bible supports.
So are they Christian ama Rastafari?
We don't slow.
Ni sawa. Go on.
And the state's major argument, because they had petitioned against the Attorney General in his capacity as the advisor of the government, and also the Kenya Law Reform Commission, which is tasked with reviewing laws after they have been formed to make sure that they are up to date and they conform to constitutional standards. Their main argument was, if we allow cannabis for religious purposes, how then will we be able to enforce this to other Kenyans? Because mimi najuanga wa Kenya, kwanza there is a certain educational institution, kila mtu angekuwa kila mtu angekuwa rasta sasa,
ama pasta wangeomoka na sadaka kwanza saa kupokea sakramenti.
Jeru tagonga na lawsuit.
Mimi sijataja hadi nimesema tu educational institution. Pia mimi niko na online school. Kila mtu angekuwa mrasta. So it is just how are we going to control this? Because sasa kila mtu akiamua kuwa rasta, you see it's creating a loophole. But also, as Collins acknowledged, the case was ni kama Rastafari walijipiga
On
on goal because you cannot come and they were inconsistently trying to evince that this drug is part of their religion. Some people are saying that they have never used it, yet they are avid subscribers of the religion. Some are saying it is very important. So you see that, and they're also trying to be careful to avoid admitting.
Actually, when he was saying that, I was like, unaweza sema hapo umetumia utoke hapo kwa Mariamu.
Hapo tu hapo hadi
Unatoka
haufiki
hapo,
mbali
you're
pingu.
being charged with, this, you can't even,
But the question is,
But court proceedings are very confidential. Hauwezi tumia kitu mtu alisema hapa kumfunga kwingine. So yes, first of all, the court acknowledged that they had not exhausted all the internal remedies
doctrine of
to
exhaustion.
them. Yes, so they hadn't gone to NACADA to apply for a license of use because it's actually an illegal drug to have, use, or cultivate according to the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Act. That is the act that outlaws cannabis amongst other drugs. That was the first argument that the court doesn't argue. That was the first holding the court gave, that you have not exhausted these internal remedies. Hamkuenda kwa NACADA wakawakataza na you have that as evidence. Number 2, just as Nyiha had put it, there is that threshold for a constitutional petition. You must identify which right was infringed and how it was infringed. You put the rights well, the freedom of worship, the right to dignity, freedom from discrimination. Here they were using their religion as grounds. And they had very strong arguments. For example, they were referring to South Africa cases, which South Africa is known for its constitutional advancements. And there's a court in South Africa that says you should not be in a position where you're forced to choose between your faith and the law. So using that court from South Africa's reasoning and approach to things, we could actually see as if kesi inaenda kukubali Rastafaris watumie cannabis. But it was also countered because some of the evidences they were giving, mostly through their witnesses, they were contradicting, and the court ended up stating that they have not proved how these rights have been infringed. They've just proved what rights have been infringed, but they've not shown how. Because you might ask yourself, all these years you've been practicing this religion without bang. So is it really that much of a crucial element? And then on discrimination and so on and so forth, we can see that the court did acknowledge the limitation was for reasonable and purposeful means. The state gave it as public health, public security, and morality as put by Nyiha. And so we try to see, even though if you read that case, it's a very interesting case.
It is.
By the way, ukisoma unaanza hapo na wimbo.
Ukiamka kwenda church.
Ile wimbo ukiamka kwenda church.
Ukiamka kuvuta bangi.
You get to see the drama as it unfolds. But I think the way Nya put it, it's just a long and legal way to say, yani nyinyi watu kwanza mnaleta hii kitu ya bangi, mmevuta bangi sini.
Nyi wenyewe mmevuta bangi.
So it's something that the court even recognized. It's high time that we have a national conversation about cannabis, because the attitudes towards it, it is very, let's say it's very adversarial. The society takes a very adversarial stance against cannabis. Because have you ever noticed in an African home, if you just do something that is outside your normal behaviors,
The bank.
easy bangi unatumia. So are we ready as a society to have that conversation? Neighbors, you can shoot your comments in our comment sections. You can also go and read those Bible verses. Yes, and for me, this issue of drugs, it's also the first time I'm hearing, so nimeanza kushtuka.
I wouldn't say
Nashtuka bana.
I wouldn't say much about that. I live
Yeah,
for you.
mfai kusema much about that. Mi ndo nafaa. That case shocked me. Like,
I was wondering.
you all are doing marijuana. What's going on?
Me neza just go on go lapa.
Achia tu hapo.
Ozo hapa sika koti. Hapa neza sema tu alisema kwa show. Sijasema anything.
On by then, lastly, actually the court back in 2014, High Court in Nyeri, actually upheld the illegality of weed as read from the act. So even the courts are not willing to compromise on allowing cannabis whatsoever. So hapa labda watu washikane, tuweke tu ma-MP wale fulani. Ninawajua Mr.
Mnaweza anza na Jerry.
Jerry unasimama wapi?
Weka Jerry na Collins, you guys.
No.
That bill is passing. The Marijuana Regulation Act.
Anyway, I think that's it for the courtroom. Let's hear your views. Are we as a society ready to accommodate marijuana in our neighborhood? Are we ready? The morality, I think kuna kitu Nyihali mentioned jana when we were reviewing our research. How is it that alcohol is legal and we're trying to be stringent on marijuana? Azote zinakufanya kuwe high.
Nakuja kudisclose vitu now.
Swali tu. Like it's hypocrisy. But anyway, that's it for the courtroom. Jerry, over to you. What do you have for the legal bulletin?
For the legal bulletin today, it covers a very emotive theme. A little World Cup, mazee. Nani anafeel ni kama hii World Cup yenyewe? It's not that serious.
Exactly.
It's not that serious.
Yeah. Go on, Jerry.
Shida yako ni kuweka emotions kwa mpira ya wazungu. Come
France.
to watch Gor Mahia.
Sawa.
So
Nisikia.
today's topic of the legal bulletin includes somehow the World Cup, but it's about an action called ambush marketing. Jua hapa pia we are here to learn. So I'm sure most are asking, what is ambush marketing? So this is simply advertising using association to a particular event without actually sponsoring the event. So now we are going to use the example of the World Cup. The way Adidas are official sponsors and partners to the World Cup. And then tuseme kampuni tu ingine, maybe Jaga Footwears, they see World Cup, by the it attracts world viewership.
Yeah.
So I want to use the World Cup to do my advertising and position myself as if tunajuana na FIFA. So that I can get advertising airtime, and also I can just get traction amongst the fans of football. And ladies and gentlemen, hiyo ni makosa. So if you scroll through social media, you will see some of the businesses trying to use the World Cup in their advertising videos. There's one I saw of an hotel.
Yeah.
It's as if it's like it's a dining table. Then all the players, wale influential players wako present hapo. Tukianza of course na Ronaldo. And the rest.
Mimi mwenye sielewi ball leo nina float.
And so the hotel is positioning itself as if it's almost an after dining place for the FIFA World Cup players. It even has the FIFA World Cup logo. Na unajua tu for sure hii hoteli kusema kweli mimi naona vile ilikuwa inakaa inauza chapo. Sasa unashangaa wali sponsor FIFA siku gani?
Chapo iko na do. Mimi nauza chapo. Chapo iko na profits buda.
Atiza Messi wanakula chapo. Chapo beans takulini bana. So there are types of ambush marketing. One is association marketing, where you are trying to position yourself as if you are part of that event which is happening. Number 2 is intrusion ambush marketing, where siku ya event unajileta na unaanza kuuza kama ni smocha, uza hapo without paying actual sponsorship fees for the event. And then lastly is digital ambush, where you're producing ads and social media real-time posts that try to associate you with that particular event. So to discuss this ambush marketing, we decided to use the FIFA World Cup as an example ndio watu waelewe vizuri. So for example, up to now, the viewership for the FIFA World Cup total has just crossed 26 billion across all
26
platforms.
billion.
Yes, 26 billion views. And so you wonder why maybe brands like Adidas, Hisense, DSTV, Hyundai, why are they sponsoring this event? So that is why the number of views you're able to get 26 billion. Hiyo hadi sidhani hadi ukilipa influencers wengine utaifika hapo.
Mbona sema wengine?
Hadi hiyo ukitulipa sidhani utaifika hapo. For now. So 26 billion views. And I'm going to use an example that itauma wengi basi wa Adidas by them sinikujie. But even though Adidas is a major financier of the World Cup, you find that Nike makes more money whenever there's a World Cup season than Adidas.
Yeah.
Of course, they've been in the past been accused of ambush marketing. For example, when just before the World Cup started, you saw they released a commercial with all their players. Ronaldo, Vinicius, Mbappe, Haaland, and the likes. And so people are there thinking, wow, easy shati za Ronaldo sasa tunazinunua hii World Cup. So that is how Nike is able to make money without being the official sponsor. They are able to get a hold of that 26 billion through the individual players. But it has never been contested to the point of victory in court, that Adidas versus Nike battle, but we are yet to see. And so ambush marketing as an area of the law, it's an area in Kenya where there is no statutes that, or no law that exactly says ini makosa. But it's a thing that exists, and you can actually be found guilty of it, and you can actually end up paying even more than a sponsor paid for the event, but yako itakuwa in compensation. Unlike other countries like the US, UK, Canada, South Africa, where they have dedicated statutes for special events to avoid ambush marketing. A recent one by South Africa when they hosted the World Cup in 2010.
Recent.
That's recent.
Oh.
2010 mlikuwa wapi?
Swali ni hata ulikuwa.
You just scored.
2010 nilikuwa high school.
2010.
We.
Kata si millennial, ni Gen X.
So 2010 South Africa, I think through pressure of FIFA, or they had to make that legislation so that they feel safe, their presence there. Hawatakuja Jaga ndo anze kuuza jezi zote, ibaki tu ni Adidas the sponsors for that, because event sells at the point of exclusivity of sponsors. If you bring one sponsor to the event, they usually want to be alone so that they make maximum profit. In Kenya, ambush marketing is guided through an intersection of laws from intellectual property, competition law, consumer protection law, and general principles of passing off. So that's still narrows down to trademark under intellectual property law. These things like logos, reputation, brand image, they are protected under law, and if you use it to mislead customers so that they find favor with your goods and it is actually proved in a court of law, then you will be liable. Tuseme tu kama hivi, kuna summer tides zinaendelea hapo vizuri, and niliambiwa summer tides watu kunywanga pombe.
We.
Ama nimesikia kuna event ya The Bag, naambiwa pia uko watu kunywanga pombe.
Hata mimi nasikianga tu.
Lakini watu kunywanga pombe kwani hawana wazazi?
Haujasikia wale wa kukata na wazazi wao. Na take 20 steps back. What?
And then mi nimefungua Wines and Spirits. Nataka sana watu wenye wanaenda hiyo summer tides ama The Bag wafikirie we are in some kind of a partnership.
Yeah.
So in all my advertisement, I start using their brand images and what have you, just to get that traction online. Then I end up having a very successful franchise. Si wanasemanga watu wanauzanga pombe wa kunywangi. Sasa huyo ni mimi.
You can't get high on your product.
So I end up becoming very successful. Without sponsoring that event, I've just used it to get what I would call an unfair advantage. That is now what actually amounts to ambush marketing, and you can be sued for it. And you will end up paying millions in costs. So for our neighbors, najua nyinyi wana biashara, but these events you see, just try to be very careful as to how you are interacting with them, as this is a new area of the law in Kenya. Don't usikue the first statistic.
Yeah.
Wakiseme Jaga the first person
utumeka precedent.
Wewe ndo yako iko inatumiwa ku decide other cases. Then also there is a very fine line between independent advertising and ambush marketing, in such a way that it's not actually bad to mention the World Cup so that you can actually get more engagement or views. But don't do it in a way such that you are suggesting that you are in partnership with FIFA or you are affiliated to FIFA. Kwa hiyo unaonanga hizi ma TV shop tu iko mahali mtaa, unasikia a global partner of tech.
Hawa wanaweza kwa. No offense.
Mse unaangalia hapo global partner. So those are some of the things that you can end up in legal soup. And then next week tukuje discuss of the courtroom. So you can just avoid it by trying to look to have a license before using any other person's intellectual property, or just sticking to normal advertising. Don't suggest association, and so on and so forth. And you will be safe from legal inspection, and kila kitu itakuwa fiti. You'll not be asked to pay. So I will leave it on to Nyiha. Collins, mtuambie, what are your thoughts about that?
Personally, I do understand the concept. However, when I was looking at it, it looks as if it's a somewhat idealistic concept, because regardless, it can be practical, but to some extent, you know, for example, the way Jerry has talked about Adidas and Nike, I feel like Adidas can pick a battle with Nike. That is someone worthy of maybe taking to court because of the whole ambush marketing. But sasa, for example, the hotel. Kuwatoa ni huku uwapeleke huku. They'll even be having a time of their life. Yani hao watu walitutafuta. Like, you'll be even enjoying it. And I feel like I was trying to look at ways maybe how you can try and minimize your losses, or how you can maximize your exclusivity. And sometimes what you can do is have the players, for example, in the World Cup, sign specific contracts. Or let me even use for movie stars. Some movies, when you're working with these particular people, for a period of time, you cannot take up any other brand. You cannot do any collaboration with any other brand for a particular period of time, especially when they are trying to market that particular film or something you've been working on. So maybe Apple, you might reduce the chances of someone profiting off your investment. So I think that is it. Apart from maybe tightening the intellectual property clauses, it's a concept that when you're even told to give a solution, your solutions might maybe cut it down to 30-40%. Though people will still do it. They will. Like, ni zile tu vitu, you can conceptualize it, but ikifika kwa the practical aspects, you don't know how to go about it. I feel like, because personally, I can't even tell you how to go about it, where to start. And from seeing what many people are talking about, many people they are just adding on the definition of ambush marketing, the types. You don't find anyone giving very viable solutions. So that's my take.
I think for me, I look at it from a practical angle. As an event planner, it's not easy putting up an event. It's not easy sourcing partners. And when a partner actually dedicates their money to an event, you see, number one, you're proving to them they're going to get numbers there. So I think for me as an event planner, I'll see it as, number one, people who do ambush marketing, that is unfair. Let's start from there. Because kupull two numbers, mzee, si rahisi. I'm looking at, maybe, let's say there's a symposium somewhere, there's a conference somewhere. Putting up that event takes months, takes lots of planning and all that. I think some of the ways someone could actually protect themselves from this. Na unajua kwanza, mimi nikipata, unajua eri mtu wa kuja event yako, kama ilipia ticket, alafu afanye ambush marketing, you're a client, right? But you crash and then you go ahead to sell your product. That is violating, and at least I think stepping outside the margins. So Jaga was very detailed on his explanation and giving types and how it occurs and all that. So let's narrow down to some of the ways actually someone could try to enforce this legally. You see, if it is a concert, you've put down, let's say, Solfest. No, you put up the Solfest and all that. Copyright section 35, it clearly says you cannot use someone's work without license and without their knowledge. So if someone comes and they broadcast the event, that is your way to actually get compensation. Number two, if someone reproduces your work, that is another way to actually get compensated. If someone uses, so that is now from Copyright Angle and Copyright Act. We're going now to the Trademark Act. So if someone does a video and they use your logo on it, that is a clear violation, especially if you know someone associating themselves with your logo will get their business attraction. So if the business actually gets the traction, you could try to go to court and say, by them using my logo, they made profits. So I think proving the profits aspect could be at least tricky, but if you have the way of proving it, you get your shares from that. Another way, it was through the Competition Act, in the sense that it is unfair practice. I think the Sale of Goods Act, Section 1213, prohibits the unfair practices, and it gives example of unfair practices. So in Kenya, there's an array of statutes that try to regulate this. But as Jerry put it, we haven't had a solidified statute that tries to give a proper legal framework as to how ambush marketing can be regulated. To me, I'm not supporting it. I'm against it because I'm just there thinking of this person manze mwenye ametake hiyo time yote kuplan something alafu unakuja kudandia effort zake. But ukikuwa na event pia, I think what she said, it depends who's taking advantage of who, because Hoka kikuja hapo na troll ya smoky utelewa they're trying to, na pia kwanza yeye alitoka tu kwa nyumba hapo anazuko na event KICC, but amepata watu, so pia lazima kuna limitation. So I think those are some of the ways someone could. It is an interesting area. Actually, before you brought it, Jerry, I had little about it, but now I'm just seeing how unfair it is to perpetuate those behaviors. Watu wa kucrash events za watu na kumake profits mazi. Yeah, so that is my views on that. And neighbors, tuambieni, what do you think about that? Is it time for us to have a statute that tries to regulate that? And if so, huyo MP unachagua anaweza wakilisha vitu kama hizi?
Sai tunafaa kuanza kuuliza.
Yeah, maswalika hizo.
There's a person I've been seeing who is vying for, I don't know, an MCA, I think. Mahali tu hapa, hata ni around this area, mahali tuko. And they are on TikTok. They are just busting moves. To promise manifesto kutoka the year started. It is now July.
See,
and we are like, boss, what's going on? What's happening?
Tutampea chance tuone.
Tunakupea chance bila manifesto. Unajua hata mtu who drop hints, unaanza kusema I value education. I value
oyake ni vibes and inshallah.
Si hatutaki, unaona venye dimples. Okay, anyway, I digress.
Sini nimekuwa nikirusha hints fiti.
Nice. Wait. Hints zako ziko.
Anyway.
Hints well taken, Jerry.
It's okay. Before we go to legal curiosity, kuna someone who sijui kapia Jerry amemwona. Kuna mtu anaitwa Mamba. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
I feel like that is a God sent man.
Sasa unafanya ambush market.
Unaona venye nimeamka mbio.
It should be protected. Anyway, there's a story ya huko kwa tent. Nia, what do you have for us, the legal curiosity?
So recently I've been seeing this video making rounds of this KDF soldier who took the life of his 2 children and the wife. And I've been seeing people use the terms murder and manslaughter interchangeably. And it's like people don't really understand there's a difference between murder and manslaughter. And, that's also spreading misinformation because, people need to understand what they're talking about. Murder is very different from manslaughter. So today's discussion is the main difference between murder and manslaughter. There are words that tunatumianga daily, but some people don't really understand what they mean. So kuna hii video hii fulani meme nikikudunga kisu mara moja inakuanga
ni mada
ukufe. Hiyo ni manslaughter.
Oh,
na nikikudunga mara mbili
hakuna bahati mara mbili.
Hiyo ni mada. It's usually a video tunatumianga law students exam ikifika when you're discussing upon your class. Anyway, so the main difference between murder and manslaughter is basically the state of mind of the offender. When we talk about a criminal offense, most of them kuna kwanga na 2 aspects to it. There is the action, which we call actus reus, and there's the intention, the mens rea element. So the intention basically is what now makes the distinction between murder and manslaughter. What were you thinking when you were taking away this person's life? Had you pre-planned it? For example, in this particular case, you find that this man alichukua watoto, akaenda akawapeleka somewhere. When he was asked, he lied about it. He was trying to conceal his particular actions. This is someone who you can see he has thought through what he is going to do. You see alichukua the wife. After amefanya kitu alifanya, he has called a cab. Like, his actions show this is a person who had a plan and he had thought it through. So that is what makes it murder, because this person, you have done the action of killing a person, and on top of that, while killing the person, you had the intention to kill. And now manslaughter is where you did not have the intention, but your actions or your recklessness caused someone to lose their life. For example, mko hapo nje, someone has stolen your phone, umemshika, kajua leo ni mimi na wewe, namwekelea ngumi kadhaa, ngumi namgonga kwa his chest, his lungs collapse and he loses his life. Maybe haukuwa na hiyo intention, you just wanted to teach this person a lesson. Akiona simu ya wenyewe asiwahi guza tena, but in the process your actions caused the person to lose his life.
Yes.
So basically that's the difference between murder and manslaughter. Murder, you had the intention to kill.
Yes,
You had thought it. In law we call it malice aforethought.
Yes.
Nakumbuka hiyo swali oral.
Yeah.
The criminal law. You had the malice aforethought.
Yeah.
But for manslaughter, it's just happened. So, yeah, that is it. I don't know what you guys have to say about that.
I think we've seen cases, some of the cases, I think we as law students, we've read cases and that have been decided to be either being murder, kama ya KDF, that was murder, and others manslaughter. But just could bring justice kwa street. I don't know what happens when during mob justice, when someone is murdered, uko part of it. So mob justice, if someone dies, automatically inakuanga murder. Sindio?
I think that is a question we can pose to our neighbors from what we have explained to be the distinction. Wewe ukienda hapo, what was your intention? Juu kuna wenye flat out, paraffin, tire, kiberiti. Wewe, you are not there to play.
Yeah, you just came in.
Yeah.
So kuna tu vitu na kuzipata kwa situations ka hizi inakuwa tu mchezo. Like I think they take someone's life to be so sacred. Asira tu kidogo umepiga mtu alafu adedi. And what obvious also have to know is that whether it's manslaughter or murder, to some extent would serve jail. Kani manslaughter ni kwa bahati mbaya, yes, but you see a life has been taken away. So to some extent you have to serve, I think, a jail term, you know?
Yeah.
And then murder ndio inakuanga sasa inauko guilty of this. Jerry, what do you think?
Mine is just to support ule mwenye alisema nikikudunga because you can see maybe he was trying to talk about the mental element without actually mentioning it. But what has just been discussed is the more accurate account of how murder and manslaughter are treated, each in their own different capacities. And it all narrows down to your mental state while you're doing it. Had you thought of it before, or it's something that you just did because of the extremeness of the current situation? Well, that's how you're able to differentiate murder and manslaughter.
Yes, that was it for this episode. We're so glad that we've had a very fruitful engagement on this. We do hope you engage with our content. Share it. Subscribe, please, if you haven't yet again. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
This is Law in the Neighborhood podcast. Brought to you by CH Studios, creating content that connects.